Alright, so even a full-length run of this game, which is twice as long as this video, is not enough to really explain everything that's going on. So I'm really just going to say very basic things and just commentate on my performance in the run, really. So the first thing that's different about Hellsinker than other shmups is you don't die if you hit enemies. You only die if you get hit by bullets, which that's kind of the same as anything in this genre if you get hit by bullets, but also if you run into enemies in most other games, you'll get hurt. In this game, you're actually encouraged to get up really close to enemies because you'll do what you'll see throughout this run when I get close to something called sealing it, which means it can't attack, and that's actually very crucial. You see right there, it says seal. That means it can't attack, but you have to be pretty close to it for that to happen. Also, while you're watching this, I really want you to pay attention to the soundtrack, because the soundtrack to this game is awesome. So this character I'm using is actually not the easiest character to play with. I chose to learn the game with this character. His name is Maiden. I just like this attack right here, this lance. You can move around really fast while you're using it, which is useful for evading stuff, as you'll see throughout this run. She also has the main shot, which I don't think I know I've done it so far, but it's not really been predominantly used. This is an attack that's a staple of this character, that circle radius thing. What it allows me to do is dodge. My character moves a lot slower, so I can dodge easier, as you can see here. The other main thing about this game, aside from the seal mechanic, is that bullets can be slowed down when they get next to you if you're using the appropriate sort of field around your character. So this lance has this little, see I got hit there, this lance has a orb in front of it which can slow down bullets a little bit that you'll see happening, and then this radius creates this what's called suppression field around my character, which makes it so the bullets go a lot slower and they're a little easier to dodge when they get next to you. Despite this, the game is still pretty difficult. This is the main shot of the character. This is kind of like a hidden form of this boss. If you damage it enough, quickly enough, without really getting hit that much, you get this sort of secret form. And there's a timer, and I almost ran out of time there. You can hear it with the music. This game's also really in sequence with the music that's playing, which is really cool. It's kind of like a musical almost. So this mode that I'm playing was only 5 of the 8 stages. So the first stage you saw there was actually stage 2. This is stage 3. There's actually 2 different versions of the first 3 stages. This is actually the beginner version of the 3rd stage. I like incorporating this stage instead of the regular 3rd stage for survivability when I'm doing these runs, when I was just attempting to clear the game for the first time. And this is the second time. This run is actually the second time I've ever actually beaten the game in this mode. The full game takes like close to an hour, and it's really disheartening when you get towards the end of that and you lose. So I do like this mode called Short Mission better. You see the bullet suppression happening there a lot. So in the top left you can see the red sort of heart pieces, which you probably can surmise are my lives. And then the number above that says necessary. That's the number of little heart pieces, these little heart pieces that have the L on them, you see here. It's the amount of those that I need in order to get another life, or an extend, as the game calls them. I can have a maximum of 7 lives with the setting I'm playing on currently. Well, actually, once I get another life, it's going to change. The that part there with the hearts is going to change to say immortal. And that basically just is a bonus that you get for any lives that you get after already having max lives. But it should be noted that this game has to be beaten on one credit. So if you continue at all, if you run out of lives and have to continue, which the game only gives you one continue, which is another reason why it's hard, because most games allow you to just keep continuing until you beat it. This game only allows you to continue once. And also, it limits the game if you do continue. So it will skip stages. It'll allow you to get to the final boss if you only use that one continue, but it will not let you fight the final boss. It'll kind of tell you better luck next time. So, see, now you can see it says immortal there. This is a pretty good stage from what I remember. I think I get hit like once in the boss. But again, there's a lot of stuff going on here mechanically that's just not capable of being explained in a 20-minute video, or however long this is going to be, probably like 20 to 25 minutes. The seal mechanic and the bullet suppression thing is the main difference between this game. Oh, I did get hit there. So you can see the immortal went away, now I just have 6 lives. Again, this music. So I've actually played this game at the time of recording this run. I played this game for about 42 hours in order to be able to clear it twice in the abbreviated mode. I still cannot beat it in the full 8 stages. It's just, my nerves get the best of me. But that is definitely my plan, to get a full run. So you can see a lot of heart pieces here that I want to collect. Back to immortal. So I really like this character because she has, she's very utility compared to, she's not the most powerful character, but she is powerful still in the right hands, and I don't think my hands are the right hands, but like I said, I've played the character for about 40 hours, so I feel like I have a pretty good understanding of her, but I know that there's definitely players out there, of course, that are better with her. So this is a section of this level that actually goes on for as long as the music is going to continue going on. So the faster you kill the enemies in this level, the more this section there will be. So here's the boss, another one of the best bosses in the game, and another really great soundtrack. Most of the enemies and bosses in this game can be dismantled. As you'll see here, I'll go after destroying this one wing on this side. And in this case, I want to dismantle this right wing first. And here I'm going to take a hit because I forgot to save my bomb, so that I can get to the center here. Because if you kill it without destroying both of its wings, I'll get an extra life for killing it, which you'll see here, it says revive. And now I'm back up to immortal. So that was stage 4, this is stage 6. This is a big hurdle for a lot of people. Stage 5 is also a big hurdle, and I hate stage 5, so I did not choose to play it in this run. I would never really choose to play it unless I'm doing the full game, and I have to. This stage is definitely not the easiest one to pick There's the stage after this is actually a lot easier than this stage, which is stage 7, but this is stage 6. I really wanted to do this one for this run because I absolutely love the music in the stage, and the boss in this stage is one of my favorites in the game, as well as having, in my opinion, the best boss theme in the game. Which is a tall order because I think this game soundtrack is amazing through and through the whole time. So this section is kind of self-explanatory. It's just kind of a little maze. I'm trying to get hit by those things that are bordering those cubes. This section is cool because it gives you kind of like a mini boss enemy, and it allows you to use those lasers coming up to damage it. So if you basically position yourself right, you can just get that and I actually do, I think, do that here. You can see the percentages of the health on the enemy going down a lot when that beam hits it. I believe the beam actually kills, yeah, so this boss already at 26%. And that was a really dumb death, just not paying attention. This game really just does demand vigilance, and there it goes. This section can get pretty crazy with all these bullets everywhere that you'll see begin to quickly accumulate on the screen. Luckily with the bullet suppression, it's not as bad as it would be. You can see them kind of bead off of my character when they get close, but it's still very possible to die in this section if you don't know how to sort of direct these bullets by your positioning. Anytime the screen turns green like that, by the way, is when an auto bomb is happening, which means one of the settings that I chose before playing the game, it will auto bomb instead of killing me if it hits me. But once you use that, you cannot use it again for another 30 seconds, and you can only use it 3 times per level. So it's not a get out of jail free card completely. I don't do particularly well at the boss this time, I know, once I get there, but it's alright, because I know that it's a good run. This is a really cool section of the game. Probably the only section of the game where you're going down instead of up, which is a nice little change. This section can get really hairy quickly, so I had to use a little invincibility bomb there. Again, love the music, love this music. So we're coming up towards the end. The little final last stretch of this level. Basically racing against this laser, trying not to get hit by it, while at the same time killing the enemies going up. Again, making very liberal use of this. It's the sub-weapon of the character, this circle radius that you see me using pretty much all the time when I'm not using the lance. Alright, now, prepare yourself for the best music in the game. This boss theme is so epic. Love it. This boss is called the Apostles of the Seed. There's two of them. One of them is called Dawn, one of them is called Dusk. Again, some really bad hits here. Actually, when I was doing this, I started to think this might not be the run where I would complete this level progression because of this boss fight. It gets, I think I get down to maybe 2 or 3 lives by the end of this. And once you kill one of them, the other one has a suicide attack, and so that's what this one is. Oh no, maybe I don't. I think it's in this next section. So this is the only boss in the game which has enemy waves after it, and it's considered one of the hardest bosses for most people playing this game for the first time to beat. So this section here is a real slap in the face when you finally beat them, and then you get this swarm of enemies. But it's able to be learned, and it is actually the same every time. So it's really just memorization. I'll take another really dumb death here, which I don't usually die, don't get hit at all to this thing, but yeah, like I said, I got down to 2 lives here. Fortunately, after this stage, I'm going to get the bonus stage, which is basically a stage where you can get hit as many times as you want, but the less you do, the better score you get. And based on your score at the end, you can get lives back. And it's called the Shrine of Farewell. And again, this thing can appear at any point during the game. It's another mechanic that's just kind of hard to describe in the length of this video, so just think of it as a bonus stage. It is 4 bosses. Some of the few human-looking bosses in the game, actually, so that's pretty cool. Some of these attacks are really neat looking. And then in between each one of these, there's these things called Konami stones, which basically are enemies in between each boss. So in this bonus stage, depending on how well you do against the bosses, basically how fast you kill them and how many hits you take. You get crystals after beating each one of them, and those crystals basically turn into life pieces, those necessaries that I explained earlier that give you more lives and extends. So I've never died there either, but again, my nerves are getting to me. So the crystals will translate into life pieces and will give me a couple extra lives at the end of the stage, because the next stage after this is the final stage, which honestly, the final stage of this game is one of the easier stages in the game. The hard part about it is not really the difficulty of the enemies, it's knowing how to navigate it, which I'll attempt to explain during the final boss, but you'll see that in a little bit. This is the worst boss of this particular bonus stage that I did. I still don't really have a solid route against this boss without getting hit. So this is the last boss, fourth. So if you see there in the top right, there's a thing that says limit. That's the time limit of this entire bonus stage. But however much time is left on that when you kill all 4 of these bosses, you get this end section, which is its health automatically goes down based on how much time is left, and it's basically just an extra bonus for score and for more. I think you can get more crystals if you do well during it. Obviously, the longer it lasts, the better. But so right now, that's the last boss defeated with 25 seconds left of the stage. So once I kill this Konami stone, it'll go into that last part. Risky dodging there. And then this part, you'll see the health is automatically depleting. I'm not even bothering to shoot it because it doesn't do anything. I think if I shoot it, I actually would have gotten more points, but I already got hit enough times to where I know I didn't do the best here. So I got 253 crystals, which is going to give me, I believe, 3 lives. Yeah, 3 lives. So 5 lives total. An interesting part about that bonus stage is if you get at any point during the game, after you finish that, you no longer have a continue if you lose all your lives. So this is the last stage. Again, music starts out pretty calm, but also has one of the coolest sounds in the game, I think. Background music for a stage. This game actually gives you a bonus for doing what's called grazing, which is getting right next to those red needle shots. So if you're wondering why I don't move out further from, dodging them, that's why. It's another bonus system that is too much to really go into in the length of this video. I probably would have taken the entire first 2 stages explaining just the meters on the right and left side of the screen. So I didn't want to waste time on that. This is where the music changes. It's a little bit more upbeat. This game also has a pretty deep story, believe it or not, compared to other shoot-em-ups. There's actually a lot of lore and stuff as to why everything is how it is in the game. So it seems really random if you watch it for the first time. And honestly, when you're playing it, it seems random as well, but once you've actually completed the game and done most everything in it, you understand a little bit more about it. And it's actually really cool. One of the things that attracted me to this game to begin with. So this is making use of that seal mechanic. These little obelisk things would definitely be shooting bullets if I wasn't sealing them. And I'm kind of using them as almost like a heat shield against these bullets. This is a strategy I discovered from a super player of this game, but they do it for a reason there, because it's the best way of doing it. And coming up to the final wave here. Last set of enemies right here. Here we are at the final boss. So when I said this boss isn't necessarily hard to beat, it's just knowing how to go about it, is because there's a very specific thing that you have to do, very specific things that you have to do during it in order to actually fight the true last boss of the game. So this first section is going to be multiple different attack patterns that you basically are just surviving against and trying to hit the shining core in the middle wherever it goes on the screen. There's a meter at the top there that says satisfaction level, and to fight the true last boss of the game, you have to get that satisfaction level to level 3. So it's that purple shining core up there at the top that I'm trying to hit. I don't really care about hitting it here because there's multiple patterns that will be easier to hit it at, but that's basically what's going on here. There's no health bar, you're actually trying to fill a bar. Now I get a cheap... not a cheap death, but just take a silly death there, yeah. Again, pay attention to the music in this section. It's great as always. Especially this swell coming up. Really like it. Right here. I can finally get some hits on it. The level will deplete whenever you're not hitting it. So you'll see it actually go up to 2 there. And 3. That attack I'm doing that clears bullets is really helpful. Section with this character. This is the hardest pattern of this first part of the boss. I can never seem to get the timing right of where I'm supposed to be in the safe area here. The movement is so precise to stay within that little thing that it creates. You'll notice the satisfaction level has now gone back down to 0 because I'm not directly hitting it anymore, but I'll get it back up in this next part here. Dodging these little lasers. Second to final attack pattern of this part of the boss. You'll notice now I'm backed up to Immortal from the 5 lives that I started the stage with. Usually if I can get to this stage in a run, I know that I'm doing pretty good. So now that I got that to level 3, the next phase is the second phase of the boss. And it's another part where you have to fill a meter in order to satisfy the requirements to get the final boss, the final true boss. Music here is awesome as well. So you can see that meter at the top is filling. So this part, you have a little over a minute to raise this meter, and if you're not super aggressive, you can fail it, and the game will basically just end at the end of the time limit. You see the limit up there in the top right. If I don't fill that meter by 20 seconds left, then I've basically lost. I won't get the true final boss. Some text here that won't make sense if you haven't played the game. Even people that have played the game, it doesn't make sense. You have to do some pretty deep diving into the lore of the game to understand this. But the rest of this is just survival for the last 20 seconds. Back down to 5 lives. 4 lives. It's okay, because there's a section right before the true last boss that's coming up here. See a bunch of hearts there. Got a free life there. And then this transition happening right here. Tons of lives. Back up to Immortal. And this boss cannot be damaged. This is the final part of the game. It's 70 seconds long. All you have to do is survive. Still very possible to lose a run to this part if you're not familiar with it. This is one of my favorite parts. This spot in the middle, you're just invincible. Don't get hit by anything. It's really cool. Alright, we're at 30 seconds left. I get a little careless here. Maybe not there. Maybe here I get... I know I get hit somewhere up here, right at the end, but it's fine because I have plenty of lives. And that's the end of the game. Thanks for watching.